Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rafsan. Today we are going to talk about one of the common challenges that every project manager faces: how to effectively run project meetings and take notes. With virtual meetings becoming the norm and discussions getting more complex, capturing and organizing key information can quite be a task. In this video, I'll show you how you can use Microsoft Loop to streamline your workflow and boost your team's efficiency. Microsoft Loop allows you to create and share live editable components directly within Teams, making it easier to stay organized and collaborate in real time. Let's get started and see how you can transform your meetings with Microsoft Loop. I will go ahead and start with collaborative meeting notes. The collaborative notes loop component is a dynamic tool that enables team members to co-create and edit meeting notes in real time. These notes are live, editable components that can be seamlessly shared across various Microsoft 365 apps, including OneNote, Outlook, Word, etc. To add a collaborative meeting notes, simply go to your Teams, go to Calendar View, select Date, and start adding meeting information. I just added the name of my meeting. I will select the team members. So instead of adding meeting agenda here, I will come down here and there's a meeting, add meeting notes. Click to extend it, give a couple of seconds. Let's explore some of the functionalities here. We have hide meeting notes on the invite. If we want, we can hide this. Here, see who has access. Right now, that's only me because I haven't scheduled this meeting yet. I can also copy this component, share that in Outlook, share that in Teams, etc. I will do that later, but this is one of the options that you can copy and share with your team members, and basically you can co-create the agenda items, etc. And if you click here, it will show shared locations. You can add this agenda or meeting agenda to existing Loop workspace, or you can create a new Loop workspace. If you think you need more space, if you hover over, you will see this open in browser. Click it. And this will take you to Microsoft Loop application. Here you have a little bit more space and you can actually start adding meeting notes from here. And like any other Loop components, it syncs the progress. So I'll come back to our agenda again here. I have agenda items that I'm going to add it here. I just copied and pasted my agenda items. And underneath, sometimes I found besides adding high-level agenda items, it's always helpful to add more information relevant to your topic. For example, if I come back here, I have this Copilot generated slide deck. I can come here, I can select any slide. I will copy this, come back here and paste it here. Underneath, I just added resources. And what I will do, I will actually copy and share the file with the users. I have two options here. If I share this way, just next to the resources, this is going to be the link. But if I want to share metadata with the team members, I can share this way, and you can see this shows more information regarding the file. So you can add as much as information you want, but I typically add relevant information. And these are the default values. You can see meeting notes, follow-up tasks. If you want, you can add additional Loop components. So if I click /, these are the options. For example, I can add. Later, I will use some of the components in meeting, but these are the options that you can add, which is great. So meeting notes part, I typically don't populate this before the meeting. So during the meeting, I can add anything I want. My team members, they can add any information that they found useful, etc. And follow-up task here, this is very helpful, and you can add tasks here during the meeting. All right, so what I will do, I will go ahead and schedule this meeting. Click send. So here is the meeting. If I select this, extend, scroll bottom, you can see this is the agenda. So let's take a look at this from my team members. So if I come here, this is my team member Zuka's account, and we just schedule the call. So from his Teams account, if I select this, that's what he sees. And if he wants, he can actually add more details. For example, He can tag me or any other team member saying that, etc. So you can also see this in your Outlook account. Here, if Zuka selects, and these the collaborative meeting notes that we just scheduled. If Zuka wants, he can copy this component. He can select, for example, Rafsan, and paste that component inside the Teams chat. So one of the benefits I think here is you don't have to leave Teams. So you can edit loop components wherever they are shared, whether it's Teams chat, whether it's Outlook, etc. So let's now see what happens when we start the meeting. This is the collaborative meeting notes. And you can see all the meeting agenda items here. You have space here, you can add meeting notes, etc. If you think this is not enough space, you can always come here. There is a loop icon here. Click to open it in web browser. Now we get the full view in web browser. By the way, this is the new loop UI. And here, as you can see, we have different elements here. So we can now create new page or workspace from here. If you extend, you got this view. And now you have actually a dedicated tab for your meeting notes. If you come here, current week for me, and if I select, I can come back and select the previous week. And now you can see that these are the meetings that happened last week. If I select any meeting, and these are the meeting notes that I had. So we are in the meeting right now. As I said, if I want, I can come here and take a meeting notes. Usually like taking the action items in a table format. What I will do, I will just click delete this and click loop component. And then from here, we have a pre-built template called progress tracker. I'll add that. And since there is not enough space, I will click and open browser. So we just added progress tracker. This is a pre-built template. So if you are asking what's the difference between progress tracker table and follow-up tasks table, follow-up tasks table actually it's planner and to-do. So I found it's limited. If you want to add a new column, you can do it here. But with the custom table, you can add any column that you want. So that's why I typically use this one. So for example, I can come here, say I can add, for example, task owner, and status will become not started. And I can set the end date. If there is any blockers, I can add. I can also add a new column here. For example, I can call this description and start adding more details. One thing that I would recommend, if you want to get notified once the team member completes this, try to set up a rule. So here, go to rules. Don't worry, this is completely no code. You don't need to write any single line of code. So click rules. And from here, you can select a column. For example, in our case, we want status equals, select completed, and then automation. We have a couple of options here. If you set notify and loop, you will be notified here. If you send a message on chat, this will send a message in your Teams, or you can even send an email. So let's try to send a message on chat. Continue. So once this is provisioned, you can click next and you can set up your flow. If you are a project manager, you want to be notified. Now we have one rule here. This is our current rule. If you want, you can add another rule. For example, another rule when the task delayed. And if you want, you can always switch off rule. You can delete or you can edit the rule. So I found this very helpful because if you don't set this, you will not be notified if the task is completed. So first time, if you tag the team member, they will receive an email. But if they come here and change the status, for example, to be completed, you will not be notified unless you set the rule. Let's see this in Zuka's Outlook account. Since I tagged Zuka in the task progress tracker, he sees already I'm here. Let's say if he wants, he can come here and click project kickoff loop component that I shared with him. And here Zuka sees the assigned task. By the way, if you want to make this larger, you can collapse this and you can come here and click expand table and you will get this view. And Zuka comes here and clicks completed. From here, you can see number of participants, whether they open the agenda, etc. And you can see Zuka is currently here. So since Zuka updated his task status, if I come back to chat, I can click workflows, and this shows that status was modified. How we can search loop component? Right now I can see that this is, for example, project kickoff Power Apps project, right? So I can have multiple meetings and multiple loop components. How can I search them? So there are multiple ways that you can search based on the loop component name. So if you come here, click search, and you can start typing here the name of your loop component. If you, for example, type project kickoff, and you can see these are the options that you get. This is in the loop application, but what you can do, you can also come to your Microsoft 365, Ops 365, and start here typing the name of the loop component, and you will see these results. I always recommend naming your loop components so that you can easily find them. Another way that you can search loop components, it's in the teams. So go to search and type the name of loop components, and here you go. There are a couple of key benefits that collaborative meeting notes provides. The first one is real-time collaboration. That means multiple participants can simultaneously add, edit, and organize notes during a meeting. Agenda management. Team members can collaboratively build and adjust the meeting agenda both before and during the meeting, making sure all important topics are covered. During the meeting, you can assign and track follow-up tasks directly within the notes. These tasks sync with Microsoft To Do and Planner, helping you stay on top of your action items. Keep in mind, if you want to be notified when the team member updates the task that they're assigned to, I would recommend setting up the rules that I showed you. And cross-platform synchronization. This is one of the key benefits of loop components. Notes remain updated across all shared locations, ensuring that everyone has access to the latest information no matter which app they are using. Second way that I use Microsoft Loop in Teams is using it in Teams chat. So here I can, for example, select a team member, and then in the chat there is a loop component icon here. Click here, and from here you can decide what kind of loop components you want. And here I will add a name, and then I will hit send. Always I recommend naming your loop components. Otherwise it's going to be really challenging to find them. So I just named it, and from here my colleague Zuka can see that I sent him the loop component, and I will show you in a second. So here, what do we want? The first one I will do, I will go ahead and add a label, and then select in progress. So underneath, what I will do, I will come here, and so I will click one more time and add another loop component. This time I'm going to add code view. I will click Bing. So if you have Copilot for Microsoft 365, you can ask in loop itself and it will create the code for you. But here I will simply go ahead and ask. Here, this is the prompt that I give. I click send. I will copy this, exit, come here, and I will select this to HTML and paste the code here. And if you want, you can also select a line count. This will show the lines. And as you can see, we keep adding more and more loop components within Teams in the chat. So we don't have to go ahead and open this in, let's say, loop application. So that's one of the key benefits of loop. So you can work whatever you want. You don't have to leave and open another application. So beneath that, I will add another loop component. This time I will add mermaid. This is one of the ways that you can easily create flows. And here I will go ahead and refresh. So here is the prompt I just gave Copilot. So I'll click submit. I will copy the code, click collapse, and here I will select horizontal split, select this, and paste the code. And if you look at here, you get this nice flowchart. So if you want, you can even just show the preview, and this will only show the process itself. If you click see all content in loop, this will open up the loop component in loop application, close sidebar, and here is everything we want. Show all lines, for example. Zuka just added a note. You can see this change, and if you hover over, it shows who is currently here. That's me, different color. And this color, if you hover over, you will see this is Zuka. So avatars will appear whenever users open loop page, and you can see it here. If you want, you can share the page link, or you can share the loop component and copy as loop component, then share with others. Shared locations, this shows if you want, you can add to workspace. Same way, you can select existing workspaces or you can create a new workspace. You can also use Microsoft Loop in Teams channel. So go to Teams, start a post and type message, and here I can also add a loop component. Here I will come and select task list. I just assign this task to Zuka, and due date is going to be, let's say, tomorrow. And from here, right now shows only one label. If you want, you can go ahead and add option, for example, done, and etc. And you can choose the to do. Then you can select post, and everyone in your channel can see this. Let's see this from Zuka's perspective. Activity, and Zuka just, if he clicks, you can see there is a synchronization with planner. And this is what Zuka sees. I will collapse the sidebar. It shows, for example, finalized opening slide deck. I just added this task so he can get this in his planner. But if he goes to Teams, General, now he can see the post that I made, and he can reply, of course. If you want, you can also add loop application here. Click three dots and look for loop, and you can pin it in your sidebar. And here you can see all the workspaces you have or shared with you, and here you can see the components that you have, if you have any favorites, and this is dedicated for meeting notes. But you don't have option to edit them here. This is just shows these are the loop components you have or shared with you. If you click, this will take you to loop application. You can also embed the loop workspace in your Teams channel. So if you come back to Teams, click plus, go to website. There is no loop app right now. For example, if I click, you don't see anything, so that's why I will use website. And I will bring share page link, and then come back to Teams and paste it here. I will also name this loop page. You can be more specific. One thing that you need to keep in mind, if you are sharing loop workspace in your Teams channel, make sure that people in your workspace, they are also in your Teams channel. Otherwise, they won't be able to see this. So now I can collapse this, can also collapse this. And here, as you can see, I can easily navigate to other loop pages, and without leaving Teams, I can start working here and etc. So now if you're curious about where those loop components are stored if you use them in Teams, If you are using loop components in Teams channel meeting and Teams channel, they are stored in SharePoint side. But if you are using them in Teams private chat and Teams private meeting, then they are stored in your OneDrive. So these are the things that you need to keep in mind. I hope you find this guide on using Microsoft Loop in Microsoft Teams helpful. By leveraging these tools, you can enhance your meeting productivity and keep your projects on track. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with your thoughts or questions, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tips on project management and Microsoft Power Platform. See you in the next video.